Welcome back, stair steppers and ladder climbers. This is Soul Calibur for the Tower of Lost Souls. Now proceeding to nearing the tippity top of the tower as we take on Avaricious Life. What may be one of your last feel-good missions among all the missions in the Tower of Lost Souls.
Is it because we have to deal with Zaslamel again?
It's because the other missions get stupidly difficult after this one.
Alright, so we're still leaning on Kilik and Astaroth.
And we're still relying on at least some probability of knocking our foes out of the arena.
Which is weird because, Zaslamel is immune to it.
We can do our best, of course, by switching costumes at the last second to demonstrate that if at first you don't succeed, try changing your costume, your skills, and your stats in character creation mode.
Or you can get slightly more comfortable with your with the characters that you're playing as.
If you find that your opponent is resistant to the old do-si-do, try knocking the bitch out of the arena. If that doesn't work, you can always reset the match.
Very nice. You actually did a dial combo.
Yay. One of few. But then he does the 360-degree thingy, and he evades all incoming strikes and damage. Long reach versus long reach.
Zaslamel doesn't have that long of reach. He is slightly longer than mid-range, but it's just very slightly longer than mid-range. Whereas Astaroth actually is mid-range for his verticals, but his kicks are very short range. Dead yet?
Not yet. Not this time. Alright, these guys all have Nullify Ring out.
As well as HP recovery and a small amount of other HP stuff. Seize from the enemy's blind spot. So they want you to throw them from behind. Which is a bit difficult because we're not fighting any Voldos, so...
There you go. Oh, you think that just because you have resistance, you do not have immunity. I am the virus, and you are the insufficient immune system. Oh, by the way, try not to continue attacking in order to hit foes that are already defeated. That is unless that foe is the very last one. She knocked.
Okay, the reason that worked is because you pushed her with your body. Okay.
She did it to herself, and you know what? I'll take it because these stages are getting really difficult. A win is a win. The game doesn't. You don't get scored. The game doesn't keep track of how long it takes you to do it, how much health you had, whether you did it ring out style or if you just beat the fucking shit out of them like you're supposed to. That was lucky, and you know what? Because she got knocked out so early, and she ceased attacking me relentlessly, that I have a decent amount of health saved up now. But then Urania uses the HP burst ability, granting herself a really large amount of HP recovery, as much as 40% of her health bar. That is before the health bars overlap, because you get a second health bar that's blue colored on top of your green one.
Yeah.
Talk about a real knockout.
Lost a piece of armor with Astaroth.
Boss time. Evil Kilik must be destroyed. I'm the real Kilik.
Well, you don't actually know how to land a guard impact, so.
Yeah, he can take that guard impact and Kilik my nuts with it. I'm gonna hit you in the shins. Then I'm gonna hit you some more.
He's lost 2 pieces of armor.
Nice bum. Where are you from? Okay, he's attacking.
You got him! Yay!
Yay! That wasn't so bad. Thank you, Talon, for dying. Mission accomplished.
I cleared the stage with no ring out from either parties. Okay?
Which is actually pretty easy to accomplish. All you have to do is just, you know, not suck at this game. Now here's a mission that is gonna make you really feel like you suck at this game. The King of the Physical Realm. This is the Mr. Gerda. This is the one that I was telling you about that I said I needed help on. Is this? Not only is there a massive difficulty spike here, but this may prove to be even more challenging than the missions coming up after this one. So, King of the Physical Realm applies 3 conditions. 1, you can't grab your opponent. 2, you can't ring out your opponent. 3, your opponent is resistant to non-strong attacks.
Okay. Also, she looks like she's supposed to be Minerva.
Oh, she's
despite
supposed.
the fact that she's Taki.
So, the fact that I needed to look up a guide video on this is precisely why I am demonstrating how freaking tough this match is. This enemy is fast.
Very fast.
She blocks and she switches up her strategy very quickly and on the fly. She has a knack for ringing you out and then reposing in a most interesting manner. But do not get discouraged, for by the powers of sheer persistence, you will overcome the butthurt and then pick up the controller once again. This is me absolutely just giving up at this point by walking away from the controller. So that AI opponent defeated 3 characters and only took like 8% health damage.
So, what does the game mean by strong attacks?
There are attacks that deal large amounts of damage just by default. They're a little tricky to actually access. The Solomos is the one that I know most readily how to access the strong attack. Even a buddy of mine was watching over my shoulder and saying, you know, this enemy does not seem to take damage from anything except from that attack. So how about you keep doing that attack? I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. There is something to this.
Taki is a joy to see fight, though.
This Amrita is going to be one of your least favorite names, bringing on goddamn near post-traumatic stress disorder as you're coming off of this challenge. Because she's your first opponent. She also, arguably, is even tougher than the 2 opponents that you have to fight next.
She gets to use you as a trampoline, dude.
No, she is using me in ways that I never intended nor signed up for.
God, that's such a glorious attack.
The only grace that you get during the King of the Physical Realm challenge, that is unless you get your characters knocked out, is you have 2 characters that you could put in reserve. So you have twice the amount of reserve power if you switch your characters.
There you go. You managed to hit her with a command grab. Sweet.
So that is the attack that made me want to just keep playing as the Solomo all the time. Because it actually, like, gets through her resistances. You want to...
Malphus and Ragiel.
So now we're going to switch...
I'm kind of surprised that Zaslamel actually gets alternate demon names, because that's definitely something that I would not call for from Soul Calibur 3, because he's supposed to be, you know, one of the guardians of Soul Edge.
Well,
that's a command grab.
As we come to realize, Zasalomo is one of the good guys. Like, it's pretty straight. It's a pretty straightforward story in Soul Calibur. You're either a good guy or a bad guy. Malphas is the bad guy. He's not quite.
I wouldn't call Malphas a bad guy, although he is a demon. You know, a lot of popular interpretation of Malphas have him be a guardian demon as opposed to, you know, an actual offensive one. Even Castlevania usually puts Malphas as protecting something in Dracula's castle.
Huh. It's not quite as nice as his brother Benfas. And Malphas also is supposed to be the cooldown part of this challenge. His AI is really low difficulty. He's a little stupid. He doesn't block that often. And he goes down pretty easy. So if you got HP drain on, that's the dummy that you're going to be using to get your health back up. And here we are. It's the third and final opponent of King of the Physical Realm. And it'll feel like you had gone through an army of these guys in order to get to Ragel.
Whoosh!
Ow.
Yes, Astaroth gets some really cool combos if you know what the fuck you're doing with him.
Too bad. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just keep using the Y attack. It's a follow-up strike with Y that you hook him with his scythe and then you pull the fucking scythe back out along with 18% of his health. Do that over and over again. Ragel will go down eventually. What is going to kill you is the extensive amount of time you spend just learning this crucial information to finally ending the King of the Physical Realm challenge once and for all. But this likely will be the challenge that will make you want to stop doing the Tower of Lost Souls for a bit.
I don't know, because if they're actually vulnerable specifically to command grabs, then more than likely Taki and Nightmare are actually relatively easy to clear this with. And I know that Astaroth has some very powerful command grabs too.
There is more than one answer to the problem. The problem is just that. It's going to really challenge you to play a certain way. And in the next part...
We continue the Tower of Lost Souls.
Nope. We're going to story mode.
Oh. Coolest. Be safe, everybody.